Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to our next episode of Winning Mondays. Right now, we are in the month of October. We are officially now in the last quarter of 2021. Now, put in the chat box, guys, if you have a goal that you have set. What is that goal that you have set for yourself to achieve in the last quarter of 2021? Please put in the chat box. What is something that you want to achieve as a goal in the last quarter of 2021? Now, first of all, how many of you have got goals? If you've got goals, please press 1 for the last quarter. Right, only 1%. Right, 2%, 3%. Right, awesome. Great. How many of you, from a scale of 1 to 10, tell me how confident of you are hitting your goal? 1 being I'm totally not confident, 10 I'm definitely going to achieve it. Ask yourself where you are. Put that number there right now. Someone put 10, Francis, awesome. Someone 8, someone 10, awesome. Right, 10, great. 9, great. Right, from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I'm totally no hope of hitting my goal, 10 I'm definitely going to hit it. Where are you right now? 8. Awesome. Great to see so many positive minds. So today, I want to talk a little bit, before I go into our guest today, I want to talk a little bit about, there's this word called growth, right? Now, one of my business mentors always teach me this at a very young age when I started business. I'm still very young, but I'm talking about when I was very, very young, okay? And I was taught this, think about business, a good business or a healthy business is a business that is always growing. And sometimes when we think about growth, what does that mean? Do I increase in terms of number of revenue? Do I increase in the number of sales unit that I sell? Do I increase in the in terms of profit, right? And some people will then equate, oh, growth means I've got a lot of people with me. I've got a lot of, my company is very big, right? So I like to look at business as my revenue growth, my unit count growth, how many units I sell, how many transactions I do is growing, what's the profit that I'm winning for. So that's where I determine whether is my business right now growing or not, right? And I think today, before we start, I want to talk about the 3 things that I think is very important for us to understand about growth of business. But before that, how many of you would like to grow your business? If you like to grow your business, please type grow in the chat box. Right. Because the opposite of grow is not growing. Very clear, very simple. It's either you grow or you don't grow. Either you have growth or you decline. And someone once tell me this, sometimes we are losing so slowly that we think we are winning. Sometimes we are growing so slowly that we think we are growing, right? And the difference between growth and not growing, these are the 2 key things. And there are 3 components, I think 3 things that help us determine, to help us into that growth trajectory. Number 1, growth is a choice. To grow your business is a choice. It is not a default. It is not because after I hit 1 transaction, I'm so blessed, I'm so lucky, therefore my business is growing. No, growth is a decision or a choice to consistently see changes at the end of the result. Growth is a choice. Remember this, growth is a decision. If you want to have growth in your business, you've got to make that decision first. You've got to make that choice. It is not a default thing. It is a choice. I'll give you an example. How many of you were watching badminton over the weekend? You watched Sudirman Cup on Friday. How many of you watched that game? How many watched on Friday, watched the Malaysia versus Indonesia game? Now, Malaysia team was slated, or the government or the team was told that their goal was to enter the quarterfinals of Sudirman Cup. We never do well in Sudirman Cup. Because Sudirman Cup is a combination of women singles, women doubles, mixed doubles, men's doubles, and men's single. It's a combination of all these things, and we were never good at all. We were only good normally at 1 single or a double, right? If you all understand what I mean. Now, they went in and they actually, the majority of the players that was playing in that tournament were first-time tournament players, first time in the big scale of playing big tournaments, first time, especially the women, And that game, the Indonesia game, we beat the world number one in doubles. We beat the world number one in doubles, and there were many former world number one and world number one in that game, and Malaysia beat them. They make a choice. They make a decision to beat them. Then the second game we lost to Japan 4-1 was semi-finals. Our singles was, I think, ranked 20 something or something like that. He beat the world number one, Ken Momota. He beat him. It was a decision and a choice. He didn't went there and see what happens. Let's go and see what can happen from here. So growth is a choice and a decision. Now, if you are looking at building your business at the end of this year to prepare for 2022, you have to make that decision and you want to make it happen. There's no excuse. So it's a decision. Number two, growth is a formula. There is a formula to help growth happen. You need to think about that formula. What does that mean? If I want to make ringgit 1 million right now, what must I do on an average transaction? If I want to make ringgit 1 million right now, what must I not do? What must I shouldn't do? There is this opportunity for us to think about a formula. If you do not have a formula, it is hard to grow. You need to know in your head how many must you sell. For our business as KW Malaysia and all the market center levels, we have a formula. How many agents must we have? Therefore, we work towards that end goal. So the formula, what's the formula that you have to grow your business? Growth is a formula. There is a formula that helps you build that journey into the growth. Now, in some of us who are less familiar, who are new in this company, you may not have heard of this terminology called GPS. What's your GPS that will help you double up your business? Now, in fact, I want to ask you all this question right now. Ask yourself this question this morning. If I want to double up my business, is what I'm doing right now going to help me double up my business? Ask yourself this question. Now, we are doing 10 transactions a year. Your goal, if your goal is to double up, there's 20 transactions a year. Is what you are doing today sufficient for that? What do you think? Put in the chat box, yes or no. Is what you are doing today sufficient to double up where you are right now? Great question. Thank you for sharing, Anita. Thank you for being brave. And it's okay to say no, because that's the reality. Because to double up, you require yourself to disrupt what you are doing right now, to change certain things. Now, double up doesn't mean you must work twice as hard. Double up could be doing things that you are not comfortable doing, or doing something else that will put you into a trajectory of growth, or formulating a new formula. Maybe you need more listings. Maybe you need to double up on your listings. Maybe you need to have different kind of listings in your listing bank to double up the income that you want to hit. And that's a formula that you've got to know your economic model. Because any growth or any business planning without an economic model, you have no direction. You have no opportunity or pathway. No opportunity and pathway. I wrote this down, formula. And the last thing is growth is a behavior. It's how you behave. There is a difference between a growth mindset behavior and a not growing behavior. Now, I'll give you an example. The growth being behavior is asking questions, how do I double up? The not so growing mindset behavior is, I wish I can double up. Can you see the difference? Sometimes it's very close. The growth mindset behavior is, how can I double up? What do I need to change? What do I need to build? What do I need to break? What do I need to put systems in place for me to double up? The guy who is not growing or doesn't really want to grow is, I wish I can double up. And we spend a lot of time wishing. We spend a lot of time drawing our goal, drawing our picture of where we will become at the end of 2022. It's called a vision board. And it is important. The vision board is important. I'm not saying that it's not important. It's very important. But the problem is we spend too much time wishing. We didn't have enough time focusing on doing. Your behavior will determine how far you will grow. The people you spend your time with, the activities that you do, the books that you read, the mindset that you have, and your understanding of your formula. That's a behavior. Going back, looking at numbers. And I think that if you cannot look at numbers, you cannot grow. If you don't know your number, you won't grow. And that is why I think there are 3 key things that will help us propel ourselves to a growth mindset, or to a point of wanting to grow our business. Is number 1, growth is a choice and a decision. Now, if you are in this season and you think that growing is not important to you, it's okay. There's nothing wrong about that. Maybe I have my family situation, I have a certain situation that I'm in that I cannot afford to grow this year, and that's fine, no issue. It's a choice. Again, as I said, growing is a choice. There's no such thing as a bad choice for not growing or a good choice for growing. Growing is a choice that you want to achieve. It's about what you want to become or who you want to become. Number 2, it's a formula. To grow is a formula. You need to see what's that formula that can lead you there. What's the equation? Give you an example today. If you want to grow your listing bank, which I talked to some of the agents here, you have limited time. Who do you then bring into your team and build a business where there's a team member helping you to do that part? And then you grow, right? So there's a formula. You need to understand the formula. The third thing is how you behave. How you choose to show up every day at work. What do you do with your calendar, right? So that's the 3 key things. Now, to talk a little bit more about this, to talk about some of these three things here today, I wanted to invite a guest, right? And we had a guest all the way from Connecticut in the US, New Haven, Connecticut. Now, you'll be very surprised to see a Malaysian guy. Luke is actually in Connecticut, New Haven, which is about 12 hours time difference right now. I think it's about 9:30 at night or 9:20 at night. Luke, welcome to the call. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, thank you for having me. It is so good to start the week, right? Listening to John and all this wisdom that I think he reads so many books and he formulated in these three things, simple and easy, and we start with it. It is so good. Always attending the Monday session is a win already.
Right.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah.
So Luke, tell us a bit. You are agent in our Market Center 1. You are still running a business right now, but right now you are in New Haven, Connecticut for a certain season of time. Tell us a bit about that. Why are you here? Why are you in the US right now? We're selling property in Malaysia, right? You're still in US, but tell us a bit about that story.
Okay, I just arrived actually in US less than 2 months, in the mid of August. So the reason I'm here is because my wife has an opportunity. She got a scholarship into Yale Universities. So, and it's a 1-year program. So when we considered about it, it's not too long and it's not too short. So because we also have a child, we have a daughter. So we think that having a whole family together is important, especially in this season of our life. She's 3 years old and we do not want to separate any one of us. So I decided to come along and just explore my life in the other part of the world. Yep.
Right. And you made and you and I had this conversation somewhere around Chinese New Year or just before Chinese New Year this year. And you were talking, is there a possibility that I maintain my business or even grow my business while I am in the US? Tell us a bit about that experience and that conversation that we had.
The experience was like I meet you with desperation, like I do not know what to do.
Right.
Like I'm seeing there is a good opportunity. I think it's also a need for me to be with my family, come to the US and explore and help my wife, support my wife to complete her degree, her master degree. So I did not know what to do. So I really seeing the importance of growing my team, because I'm also a leader of 2 new agents. They are my relatives. One is my sister and another one is my cousin. So I do not want to just abandon them. So, and at the same time, I do not want to leave my family and just say goodbye, send them off to the airport. I really do not want to do, and I make an appointment with you. I remember that.
Right. Right. And as we spoke about this, right, you make a conscious decision that I want to be with my family, But at the same time, I want to find a way to do my business. I want to find a way to run my business team, my listing business team away from Malaysia in US, and see how I can grow my business as well. Now, let's just fast forward here right now, up to today in 2021. How's your business like in Malaysia right now?
As everybody know, Malaysia having the longest, like one of the longest lockdown, right? So that part was, I was there in Malaysia. I thought I can have a lot of result during those months, but not until mid of August. We still haven't opened up yet. So I think in September when I came here, everything opened up. I'm very glad that sometimes I open my eyes, come wake up from sleep, right? Then my teammates will tell me that they closed something.
Right.
Yeah. So last month, I think we closed 3 sales, and today we close is in October. I support and I do a DocuSign for another sales
Right.
for today.
Right.
Yeah.
Today you did another sale. So 4 sales so far during post MCO. In terms of your whole business this year, is your business better than last year in general?
I will say yes, because also my goal, right, is to help these 2 members to become a senior rent.
Right.
So from 60% to 80%, and one of them is already there. So another one is halfway through. So I'm very glad about that.
Right.
Yep.
What are some of the changes that you have to adjust? Because you make a decision already is very clear, but what's the changes that you adjust in terms of creating a formula for success in your business right now? How do you hold people accountable? Is there a way you put a goal? Do you follow the GPS? What does that look like? So that you all know that you're on the pathway of success. What's that formula looking like for you?
Yeah, it's really like I shared before, tracking. Tracking was very important. So I did a tracking system with Jonathan, like I declared what I'm gonna do every day. So I do the similar one to my teammates and tell them, just tell me what you're gonna do without pressure. And because of the motivation and I think peers, so everybody is doing that. So with this system, we can track what are the number of listings that we are approaching, we are getting, and what are the numbers that we are hitting and missing. So tracking using a system that really helped me and my team see what we are heading.
Right.
Yep.
So let's do a quick test right now. How many listings? What is your listing goal on a monthly basis?
Listing goal for monthly basis, right? Actually, I didn't. We hit that in the early of the year already. So
Right.
to look at the whole year goal, right? Because I know that I will be away, so we got like a 200 listing in the first quarter of the years.
Right.
So after that, we our goal is become different, but we maintain at least 10 listing per month for our team.
So
New listing, we are doing
10 new,
sub-sales.
10 new listing per month. That's your listing goal. And what other goals do you measure on a daily, weekly basis?
Appointment, listing appointment.
Okay.
Yeah. So listing appointment is one of the important one. So looking at, let's say, 10 listing per month, right? So we know that we must have 2 listing appointment in a week. So we will track in this way. So one per person, you get 1 listing appointment this week, another one get another one. If one miss, then another one will support it. So we make the number 10. Yeah.
Right. And in this journey of you setting this all up remotely and then coming to here, right? What were some of the challenges that you had from a mindset perspective? I'm sure there are certain moments, I don't think this is possible kind of mindset come in, right? I'm not sure whether you have that. Do you have that? And you have that, what are some of the challenges that you have to go through to reset that mindset?
Definitely, there are, like when I see you, right, the mindset is, how can it be possible? So when I want to do my business, it's a real estate business. There are so many things you need to do, like appointment, closing, negotiations, and and the mindset is, I do not know, and it seems like there is no one giving me the example, especially in sub sales. So the mindset is, it seems like not impossible, and And the big question is how to replace myself, because I'm the one always thinking like I need to do everything. I need to be physically there for everything.
Mm,
So how to replace myself becomes a big question for me. Yeah.
mm, mm. And what were some of the things that helped you to think about solving that, answering that question? How do you replace yourself? What are some of the things that you are working on? I'm sure it's still a work in progress, but what are some of the things that you're working on right now to figure out what's the best way to replace yourself on certain things that you cannot do? Because you cannot go and see owners anymore, right? You really cannot look at negotiations anymore. You're looking more of a marketing, coaching, strategic overview rather than looking at the day-to-day in the business. What are some of the things that you are doing right now to prepare for that or help you to prepare for this?
Yeah. So to prepare for that, right, there are many things. First thing, I segmentize like what are the job scope, what are the things that need to from zero to a close deal conversions. So like listing appointment. So I do practice with my teammates. So like knowing that because my strength is getting exclusive listings and negotiations. So this, especially these two parts, I thought that it's very difficult for someone, especially newbie, to replace me. So one thing that we do right is to build their confidence by practicing. So we do role playing a lot.
Right,
Like during the MCO, the lockdown, the long lockdown, right? 3.0, I remember. We really do like 20, 30 times of listing presentation and also negotiation. We go through a lot of a series of trainings. So trainings from KW, like Master of Persuasion, Tony Robbins, Chris. We read those books when we cannot go out. So they know how to answer some of the difficult questions and some of the expected conversation from the negotiations. So these are the things that I think within my control I can do. I just execute it
right,
during the lockdown. Yeah.
right. So it's a lot of preparation work which we all have passed that time right now already. Now you're executing it right now because of the preparation. So the preparation part allows you to execute whatever you want to execute at a very high level. Let's talk about execution, the importance of you and your team because of that distance that you are in and also the time difference, right? How do you ensure that everyone is executing at the highest level?
Again, weekly meeting. So here actually I have time because the time zone difference is only 12 hours. So we have advantage of morning and evening. So twice weekly meeting at least. So this is what we are doing. And also starting to track all the buyers leads, seller leads. So tracking is another very important things. And
Right,
uh, and one thing that also knowing that I need to like strategy to execution, right? I get them to engage and get them to known with other KW agents. So knowing that sometimes because of time zone I will not be here,
yes,
so they know some of the very supporting agents there, so they can make friends and they can call them straight away. So
right, right.
thank you for that also. Yeah.
Right, right. Moving forward, right now, moving forward in terms of your business, since you are now trying this remote thing and it's kind of working, you're having transactions and all that, right? What's the next step for you guys to grow your business? What are some of the things that you are thinking about your business right now? I'm sure you have unlocked some possibility things that you never thought was possible. Now you are beginning to see some possibilities, right? So moving forward for 2022, how are you planning your business right now?
I'm expecting because looking at the market in the US, right? The inflation is so high and the market is so hot. And the hot money I think will flow out to Malaysia soon and
Right.
flow into Malaysia and there's plenty of opportunities. I think one of uh, the strategy that I'm having, right? Because I'm also good at doing website and Google PPC pay per clicks. So these are the opportunities that I can gain more leads for my team to follow up. Yeah, we are now focusing in a lot of sub-sales properties. I think new projects perhaps is one of the opportunity for myself, not only for the team, and I can also engage with more agents here with KW that use my strength, that I'm a distance marketer that can bring leads to you, and that grow my team and grow my business also.
Right. Are you seeing that you are finding a way to build a GPS that could increase your business? And if you, what kind of increase or growth would you like to see your business moving forward in 2022? Do you have an idea already, or are you still thinking about it? If you have, what does that look like?
The idea about, I'm always wanted to for my sister and cousin to grow. So one thing is that I think that one of them already become a senior rent already. So is to let them grow their own business in the geographically area as well. So
Right.
there's, I would think my goal for them lah. Maybe they are hearing it now. We will be sweating or what. But
Right.
I think this is very important for them and for myself, because next year, half of the year I will be in US. Second half of the year, I will go back to Malaysia already. So with that, there are so many things that I can touch on. New area, like now I'm focusing in Sri Kembangan and Puchong. So
Right.
there are many areas that I can touch on with, and projects is one of the exciting things that I'm thinking of.
Right. Awesome.
Yep.
Guys, if you're learning something from today's session, please put yes on the chat box. I want to hear from you. What are some of the ahas that you are getting from Luke here as he's sharing his story here? How many of you are learning something? What are some of the things that you are learning right now? Right? What are some of the things? Put in the chat box right now. Put in the chat box. So Luke, let's switch gears and let's go backwards again and start thinking about, because you know you need to grow your business in a very interesting environment or in a very interesting scenario that you're in, because family comes first, right? And then business. And you and I had that conversation, right? Because it doesn't matter about your business if your family is not with you, because that's just not possible. And you make a choice to do that, right? What are some of the thoughts that you have when you think about the word leverage, right? Share with us this theme called leverage, right? Because I think it's a very powerful thought and a very powerful approach, because most real estate agents like to do things on their own, because the fear of conflict, it could be the fear of mistakes, it could be a fear of things that trust or whatever that is, right? Share with us, what are some of the things that you think about when you put the word leverage in your business right now?
I think leverage is about maximizing my resources. So my resources could be money, could be network, could be people. So in this business, right, I'm very glad I'm without my sister and cousin Jackie and Jain, right. It is impossible for me to get sales when I'm in US. So I'm very glad that I have this relationship with them, and they are continue growing and also doing very, very well. So leveraging people is about empowering people. So I will say I always sit down and remind their goals, not my goal. All the things that they are doing is about them. So empowering them. So when they grow, when they do something, then indirectly or directly, I actually benefit from that.
Right.
So another resource, right, is money and the skills like PPC and the net and the skills that I have in building websites like Google, all these things. So using that skills that people are good at some projects that might not get leads, then probably I can help with that. So I have also used this strategy doing my business in Singapore. So when I was away from there, so I built some leads for some of the agents there, and I managed to get some income from there as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So leveraging is about, first of all, what I'm hearing from you is you need to know your strength, right? You need to know your skill set. You need to know your ability that you can serve others. At the same time, you also need to align your goal with everyone else in the team? Because I catch what, if I catch you correctly, your team members' goal, personal goal, is aligned to your business goal.
Yep.
Right? You all must have that conversation about the goal alignment, and you have to ask yourself, if I want to make $1 million right now, and my 2 team members are interested to make 200,000 or 300,000 in their business, right? How can we align so that these are all aligned, right? So that's the key. And there's a question from Susan on the chat box. How did you get them to work with you? What are some of the formulas that you work through with them? What are some of the commitments, or maybe how did you get and rally them to work with you? How did you all started that?
I never thought of recruiting. So we look at my team member, they are my relatives. So they actually came to me, like tell me about the struggles, and also they're seeing what I'm doing. So they wanna do. I was hesitate at the beginning, like, well, it's a burden. I need to lead someone, and I don't want to lead someone, and you want to follow me. So this is how they come and work with me. And I even talk to my parents and my cousins, my uncles are his parents, telling them that the expectation and the things that I can guide them. So
Right.
I think the ultimately they decide to join in, right? I tell them, come and learn. It's not about real estate. It's in this journey, right? It's a business that negotiation and how to talk to people, how to meet with people, that eventually if you go out there to do any other business, you will benefit from this journey. So they come here with a learner's mindset, and I'm glad that they are really a good student, and they are doing very well, I would say, in
Right.
terms of yeah.
Can you share with us roughly, just to give a perspective for the audience here, in the last 7-8 months, how many transactions in total have you all done as a team?
Calculated transaction is more than 10. I think volume we have more than 9 million for
Right.
now. Yeah.
Right. So about 9 million, and these are all rookie agents, right? They're all beginner agents, right? They're not like experienced agent. And together as a team now, you all have done 9 million of transaction. If I told an average of 2%, that's about 180,000 ringgit, plus minus 100 over 1,000 in a 8 months period or 7 months period. That has happened. That's not too bad. That's very fantastic result. So thank you for doing that with them.
We aim for 3%. We
3%.
always aiming 3%.
Only aiming 3%. So if I take 9 million multiplied by 3, that is 270,000 ringgit. So guys, how many of you want to own remote control businesses, but you are still involved in it, but you're not doing certain roles? So this is an example I want to share with every agent here. And personally, I've been through this journey. Don't look at yourself as always showing houses for the rest of your life. Because owning a business doesn't have to look like that. Owning a business is about you finding the right system and model and leveraging on other talents to help them build their business as well. And that's how you build a business. So that's a very good example. I want to just share that. And some people want to show houses for the rest of life, and that's fine. But there is always choices, and there's always decisions that we can make to change our opportunity. I want to talk a bit about behavior. What are some of the behavior? Now, when you talk about bringing people into your team, right, I assume that you have set a certain standard and they must behave in a certain way in order for them to be aligned with their goal and your goal to hit that goal mutually, right? Can you share with us some of your behavior and standards that you set for the team?
I think the behavior that I can think of, right, is lead by example. Like I declare, like, to so many people that I doing a tracking with you, right, daily and more than 100 days. So that is a commitment that they see I'm doing. So I think they see my behavior and they are doing also. I'm not forcing them to do. They know by doing that will bring result. I think because of that, they are doing it as well.
Right.
So yep.
So lead by example. What are some of the standards that you have put in place to make sure that everybody is in agreement and alignment that this is how we should behave in our business? Is there any standard that you set, like for example, the number of calls you must make, lead generation time, training time? So what are some of these things that you have put in place?
To be honest, this one I'm still learning, but I think for listing appointment, this behavior, right? I'm having good result. I had good result. So it's by having them to do the calling and especially SMS and getting from the master listing and contact people, and also physically when they get one listing appointment. So the standard is you need to go and tour around the whole taman, because there is the opportunity that you are in that area, and note down all the listing with banners. From there, from one listing, I want them to get another 2 listing from one listing appointment. So that is the standard that I tell them, and with that standard, our listing bank grow exponentially.
Right. So
Yeah.
hear this correctly, guys. Every listing must have inspection. And every inspection of the property, you must not only inspect that physical property, but you must inspect the whole entire location of that particular property to look at the market in that market. Right? You need to see how many listings available. You need to see whose banner is up. You need to see what property is up there that's for sale, who are your competitors and all that. Why did you do that? Why did you get them to have that standard?
I think first thing, based on the MREA book, listing is the king, right? Listing is really important. So always this one, I instill this mindset to them when we have listing, especially in sub-sales, then that is the business come from. And because of the numbers, and because, going back to the question, is because of the economical model, because of we know our goal and how we're going to achieve our goal by closing how many deals to have how many listing. So to have how many listing, so work smartly and put effort in that.
Right. So traditionally, a lot of agents that I know don't inspect the listing until they have the first appointment with the client. And they probably never been around the area until they have the first appointment with the client. Tell me why that may not be the best approach. Tell us why that may not be the best approach.
Always gonna prepare our homework. I tell them. So it's from one of the series of our training. So when we prepare our homework, we prepare all the possible objections from the seller, because we are also dealing with sellers. So always have what is in the vicinity, what is the information that we can get. So I always tell them, prepare our homework before we go and do the listing appointments.
Right. So in some of these listing appointments, how many times you have to figure out, how many times you have that conversation with the owners to price the property correctly? Like, is that constantly in your mind right now to price the property correctly?
Yeah, always. So the goal is to do a to do the correct pricing, right? So that is how a bad property or a bad listing can become a good listings, and we can get an exclusive. We can decide to get an exclusive immediately.
Right.
So that is one of the reasons. So we don't take exclusive like most of the time. We can decide on the spot to get it and persuade them and let us do. And from there, then we commit to do the series of promise we have for the sellers. Yeah.
Right. And those 4 listings that you all sold in September and even today, right? Are they all exclusive listing?
There is one exclusive. So another one is open. So another 2 are like semi-exclusive, because we are like so appointed. Not many agents are working hard on that. So we have the keys and all these things.
Right.
And they do not want to sign the agreement.
Right. But on record, you're always trying to be the local economist of choice in the location, always trying to manage expectation of sellers first, because that's the starting point, right? And a lot of agents today, they don't go and inspect, they don't go and see the location, they don't go and figure out in that market which one is the best property. So I argue that agents who are smart right now, who know how to price the property ahead of the market, are definitely on track to be market share agents. In the location that you are in right now, are there many competition out there?
Yeah. So in Puchong, I think there are so many Puchong agents here. And in Sri Kembangan, not as fierce as Puchong, but there are many like hyper local agents here as well.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your mindset when you go into that market, when you want to compete or when you want to build your business in that market? What's that mindset? How do you see them and how do you work on competition to help you become a better business owner? What do you do?
This one quite personal because I'm focusing in Sri Kembangan, right? When I came back from overseas from Singapore, I engaged an agent, and that was a very not good experience. So with the mindset that I'm an agent here in Sri Kembangan, I want to be someone that is approachable, that is a friend. I grew up from there. So my primary, secondary schools are there. So I want to be an agent that can serve people with really sincerity and with professional attitude.
Yeah.
So that is, I think that is why this is how I want to distinct myself from other agents here.
Right. So it's all about setting yourself at this standard. You want to be the local agent of choice, or your team wants to be the local agents of choice in that location to solve the neighborhood issues, right? And also to be better, finding a way, how can you be more outstanding than your competitors? And I think there's a lot of opportunity, and you're all about doing the right things and different things, right, that the people are not doing. So if people are not working hard enough, you just work harder. If people are not in inspecting property, you inspect. If people are not pricing the property, you price the property correctly, right? So it's all about understanding that and benchmarking against that. There's a question again from the chat box. Can you repeat, why do you need to tour the taman near your listing? Why do you want to see the surrounding near the listing that you just taken or you're about to take before you go for this? So you have this inspection before listing appointment or after listing appointment to inspect the location, the surrounding location?
Yeah, so for the first appointment, right? So because some taman is gated, so for the first appointment, we will be there earlier. We'll be there earlier to tour around so that we can pass inside the gantry, and then we do a tour and see how many listings are there in the taman. So how we check this is by looking at prepare homework is by online and also by banners. So seeing how many banners are hanging there. And why we do that, right? One reason is we also want to be the agent there. So I also want to be the agent for this house that's hanging banner. So another reason that I'm doing is I want to know how much they are selling, and with that preparation, when I go and see my seller now, I can ask them to price correctly. Yeah.
Right. So it's to know your location well, to know your competition in that location for the listings, to understand the economics that's going on in that location, right? Because I think a lot of times we shouldn't look at one listing by itself. We should look at what is the comparison right now around the market in that location. And if that particular gated community have a few listings, right, and you want to sell and price this thing correctly, you need to understand what's going on there. You need to understand who is staying there, what kind of people is staying there, what's going on, what's the economics going on. So for example, today, if you're in certain part of the south side of Klang Valley, right, very near to the airport, where a lot of people are pilots or airline people right now, right, I think it's the right time to go there and help them price the property correctly, because some of them may not be able to sustain the property, right? So you need to understand the temperature and calibrate your strategic approach to work on that location. I think that's why we need to be very clear. I remember those days when there was no Waze and no Google Maps, right? There was this huge thick map book. I want to find that. I have a copy somewhere at home. I think I should put that in a museum and frame it up, because that map book was the map book we looked through to drive. I don't know how many of you remember. Those who are long enough in the business, you remember there's a Klang Valley map book, the blue color one. Right, mine is even plastic. I use plastic to wrap it out so that I don't tear the pages properly. Right, those who, I don't know who remember those days when there was no. Yes, you remember the Klang Valley map book, right? That's where it's always sitting in my car in the office. I have one in the car, one in the office, one at home, because I refer to the map and try to understand how to plot houses in the area and all that. So knowing the local, being the local economist of choice, being hyper local is very, very critical. Okay, let's fast forward right now. How, after doing this for 2 months, and you know you're going to do for another 8 months or 9 months until you come back to Malaysia, right? What are some of the things that when you come back to Malaysia, you will change? What are some of the things that you would think about becoming once you're back in Malaysia? What would that look like for you in your business?
I think the mindset definitely will change. So when I come here these 2 months, I think when I'm a like nomad, I declare myself a global citizen. So citizenship is one of the concept only. So when I go overseas, so when I see people, talk to people, so there are so many things will change. Like now I have the opportunity to go to the School of Management at Yale, so I can talk to great professors and a lot of business owners who are studying MBA at the same time. So I'm very happy that I can hear their words and their thoughts about business. So how it will change, I do not have an idea yet, but definitely it will change so much, I would say. Like I think execution is the same, but when the mindset change, right, I think the result will be different. So I'm not sure. So I'm excited about that.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
And
right.
I think technology is one of the things that I think KW is implementing that is very, very convenient. Like for example, this morning we signed a sale through DocuSign that last year nobody had heard of that before. Like, and this year we are using it so frequently. So this, I think technology is really one of the things that I'm excited to explore.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Right. Guys, if you're learning something and you have any questions, please put in the chat box right now. How many of you got questions for Luke since he's here in terms of mindset, in terms of how he's executing things with his team, in terms of how he's very clearly, you all can see he's in control of his business, even though he's not in physically here present. Well, he's physically here with us on a Zoom, but he's not physically in the same time zone, but he's definitely having a good grasp and control of his business, right? Anybody got any questions before we move on to the next segment? All right. Post your questions here before we go. Luke, just hang on for a while. I'm going to make some announcements. Then I'm going to come back to see if we have answering some questions or we can give you some last thoughts. Before we go to the announcement, do you miss Malaysian food or not?
Definitely.
So what's that one food that you miss here that you cannot get in New Haven right now?
You know, I'm very greedy one. When you like one food, right? I can think of variety of food, right? I really miss mixed rice. You know what? Yeah, so I can pick and just put into my plate
Right.
and enjoyed it. So I think I really miss Zapfan, like really a lot.
You're the first first friend that I know, person that I know that move abroad and say they miss Japan. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, hang on. Can I have the announcement, please, Marcus? Announcement, Marcus. Right, so our training is still going on. On Wednesday, we have another session, a watch party with James Shaw and Jenny. We're talking about Jenny Wallach, talking really about building your database. And I think database is a very important thing to help you grow your business. Next slide, please. Right. So those who have not put on spotlights, we had 22 spotlights last week. This has helped our agents to do very well. So congratulations to them. So let's just try our very best to keep spotlighting our listing so that people can see your listing in this season, right? Right. So I'm here to announce the Edge Property listing challenge, or sorry, not listing challenge, Edge Property list and feature to win challenge, featured listing challenge, right? Okay, let's see who is the winner. Go, next slide. Surprise. Michael John Davis is our champion with 219 featured listings. Number 2 is Cassidy Lu, 180 featured listings. And third, I know this is a new R2 agent that just joined us this few months, Francis Mui, who have gotten 170 featured listings. So congratulations, guys. You will be receiving 500 featured credits to your account within the first week of October. So congratulations, Michael, Cassidy, and Francis. Keep doing this. Thank you for being an example to all of us to really go out there and be aggressive in our business, right? So congratulations. So this is the competition is already over, and these are our 3 winners. So congratulations. Next slide, please. Right, as a team, we also have a goal of the whole entire company to feature more than 3,000 premium listings, right? So by doing that, each participant that actually put in their featured credit to do featured listings for this campaign will also get additional 20% credit back to their accounts within the first week of October. So congratulations, guys. Our goal was 3,000 listings. We hit 3,746 listings in that 2 months, right? So congratulations, all of you are great winners here. So this is an example again of us stepping up and trying to do things differently so that we can be ahead of the market, not behind the market. Next slide, please. Right, so our touch points are still on every Thursdays. Touch points are uploaded with scripts, so please use them as aggressively as you can, because this last quarter is coming to an end, and this is the time for us to catch up with our goals, to hit our goals, and to earn that unfair share from our competitors. If you keep on using the right touch points and the right messaging, you will get the right results. Next slide, please. Right, there were a few questions here, Luke, before we close. First question is, how do you structure your team, your partnership? How do you structure it? Who does what? Do you have listing agent, buyers? What is your role? What is their role? If you don't mind sharing.
So while I was in Malaysia, I was the listing manager. I got the listings. Yeah. So actually I support everything, especially the negotiation parts. So I got the listing and they do the viewing. So when they do the viewing, they come back when there is offer. So I will continue guiding them with the whole negotiation process. But while I'm here, how do I replace myself? Is I guiding. I think they are very capable now and okay and great to do the listing presentation. They got exclusive. I think last month a few exclusive. So by replacing myself, knowing that they will go out there also do the listing. Basically, for new listing, because of their workload that they're doing, so the reimbursement and the percentage that they get is definitely higher than the listing that I got previously lah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And marketing fees, everything that incur cost, right? I will put it up.
Right.
Like,
so you put in the cost and then you cut the business into 2 parts, the listing part and the buyer's part, right? And previously you are holding the listing and the listing part, they were doing the buyer's agent side. So right now, because of you temporarily stepping away, you are funding the whole thing, and you have been always funding the whole thing, but they kind of do the buyer's part and the listing part as well, so that a percentage of the listing now goes back to them as well in terms of the splits. Right. I hope that helps you to understand. So always remember, to start a team or start a mega team concept, right? Always take charge of the listing first and work with agents that can be buyer's agents for you. Right. So I think they are evolved now to be listing agent. Very soon you might have multiple territories, right? Agent 1 takes care of 1 territory, agents B take care of 1 territory, and you have multiple listing buyer's agents under you. But that's an opportunity for you to structure your business. It's really the MREA model, organizational model. That will be a level 2, level 3, level 4 mindset, right? Right now, Luke is like the admin, the support, the back-end person, because he's not able to be in the front end, but he does the training and the strategic approach and the coaching as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, that's what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Any other questions? Did I miss out any questions? Right, some of them are asking, how do they connect with you and the team? Do you mind putting your email here so that everyone can be in touch with you on the chat box?
You can go to my website, our website, gohome.com.my. So
can you put it in the chat box?
Yes, we have a brand name called Go Home Go Fang, and you can find my contacts, my team contacts there.
Right, awesome. Luke, what is the last advice that you want to give to our audience here right now, who are in the last quarter right now, thinking about growing my business, but not doing much yet, or don't know where to start, right? Don't know where to start. What is your advice to some of us here in the audience? Where do we start?
I think mentorship is very important. Mentorship is really very important. So talk to a leader, talk to a coach. So know your numbers, like getting know your economical model, your budget model. All this is very important. And I think I also want to share about this mindset thing, because without a coach, right, I would not know it is possible for me to test. It's not that I'm successful in doing business overseas. Without a coach, I would not think that it's possible for me to even test this thing. So with a coach, then I know that I can test it, and I'm doing this for 2 months. I'm seeing result, and I'm still want to do more for the following 8 months. So my advice is talk to them, be vulnerable, and let them know your struggles. So KW guys will really help us. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, Duke, for that authentic sharing. Thank you for being very open and transparent. Thank you for doing this at night while you should be watching certain Netflix and resting, right? Thank you for doing this. Guys, if you are learning something from today and you are really thinking back a lot of ahas, please share your gratitude with Duke on the chat box here right now, because Duke took some time off and now it's very cold and then it's at night and he's still sharing this with so much energy, right? So please thank him and express your gratitude. And Luke, thank you so much. Sorry, I can't send you any chafan because chafan cannot deliver. Nobody has thought of a formula to frozen chafan doesn't exist, but maybe there's something that we can think about. But with that, I hope all things will go well with you in Connecticut, with you and your family. I hope that you will continue to inspire us and be inspired as well. So thank you so much, Luke, and we'll talk to you again. So everyone else, thank you so much. I hope this has given you a kickstart for this week and this month to help you to go forward in your business and grow your business. With that, thank you so much, guys. See you all later. Thank you so much. Bye, Luke. Bye, everyone.